This is the day 1 video for 1.4. We will spend a couple of days on solving literal equations because this is really the foundation that you're going to need to get you started for linear equations. So today what we did is you guys worked in pairs and we completed this exploration. So the exploration was supposed to help you because you're hopefully comfortable with finding area, circumference, and volume. And so we were using those formulas in a different way. So I'm going to do one with you. This is a trapezoid. And to find the area of a trapezoid, you are going to use base 1 plus base 2. And then you're supposed to multiply that whole thing by the height and then divide by 2. And that'll give you your area. Okay, so if we go back and review these directions, so what we were doing is it says write the indicated formula for each figure. So that's what I've done here for you. This is the area of a trapezoid. Then write a new formula for solving for the variable whose value is not given. Use the new formula to find the value of the variable. Okay, so basically what we're doing today is we're taking what we did for the first week and a half of school, which was solving equations, but instead of having only one variable in our equation, we have multiple variables. Okay, so here, if you notice, we are looking for the height. So to get us started with literal equations, what they're doing is they're giving you the symbolic representation of the formula, and then they're giving you numerical values to help you kind of work through the problem in your head. So what we want to do is we want to get h by itself right here. Okay, so I'm going to use this area formula and my inverse operations, and I'm going to try to get h alone. Okay, so we have a over here by itself. What I need to do is move 2 to the other side because h is on top of a fraction right now and I can't get to it. So the opposite of dividing by 2 is to multiply by 2. So I know that whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. So this 2 over 2 will cancel out and make a 1. And now I have 2 times a equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So I'm one step closer to getting h by itself. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to get that b plus 1, b plus 2 over to the other side so that h can be all alone. So here we see that they are multiplying h times b1 plus b2. So if I want to undo the multiplication that's occurring, all I have to do is divide by b1 plus b2. Now this might feel a little strange or look a little strange to you, but if you think about it, anything divided by itself makes 1. And so when I divide b1 plus b2 by itself, and I have to do that to the other side as well, what winds up happening is over here I'm left with 1h, which is what I'm after. So now I have h all by itself on that side, and on the left I have 2a divided by base 1 plus base 2. And I've done what I'm after. I'm looking for h to be all by itself. So the first thing you have to do is ask yourself what's happening in the equation and then use the opposite or those inverse operations to undo it. Okay? Now comes the easy part. All they want us to do is plug in the values that they gave us. So we don't know h. If you notice in the picture right here, h right there, it's all by itself with no number. But I do know base 1 and base 2, and I know a. I know the area. So I'm going to plug those values into this equation. So I have 2 times 63 divided by 8 plus 10. And that'll give me my height. So whenever I do that, I'm going to multiply 2 times 63, which is 126. And I'm going to divide that by 8 plus 10, which is 18. And 126 divided by 18 is 7. So I know that the height of this trapezoid is equal to 7. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at a volume problem. When you are finding volume of a cone, to find volume, you're going to do 1/3 the area of the base times the height. But sometimes it's easier if we have the area of the base times the height over 3. It might be a little bit easier for you guys to work with. Now we have a formula within a formula on this one, okay? But the nice thing is they gave me the area of the base, they gave me big B as 12 pi. So I don't have to use pi r squared here because they already gave me the area of the base. Alright, so in this particular problem, once again, we're looking for the height. Notice we're looking for h. So whenever I use the formula here to isolate h, it's very similar to the problem we just did. So I need h by itself, so the first thing I have to do is get rid of that divided by 3. And the opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. So now I have 3 times the volume equals the area of the base times height. To undo multiplying by the area of the base, I'm going to divide. So I divide both sides by the area of the base, and when I do that, I get 3v over big B equals h. So that one seemed a little bit easier probably because we didn't have the binomial, the b1 plus b2 that we were dealing with. So once again from here, you just plug in your numbers into your formula. So we know that we're going to multiply 3 times the volume, which in this case was given to us as 24 pi, and then we're going to divide that by the area of the base, which happens to be 12 pi. Now, during week 1 on your homework, you had a problem that dealt with pi, and the ones of you who asked, and I kind of mentioned this in class today, pi can be treated like a variable. We know that pi, we approximate and we use 3.14, but when you're given the symbol pi, that's kind of like a variable. And so I know that anything divided by itself right here is going to cancel out and make 1. So pi over pi kind of goes away. And then all we have to do is finish our computation. We know that 3 times 24 is 72. So we have 72 divided by 12. And when you do 72 divided by 12, you find out that your height had to be equal to 6 meters. Okay, we are going to be working, like I said, with literal equations for several days. So hopefully this is a good intro activity for you. It's starting to get you to think about those inverse operations and undoing and getting used to that process. So if you have any problems and this video doesn't help, don't forget I'm here for tutoring, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic evening.